Lesson number 11, Expense. Hello guys, kumusta mga kaibigan? In this lesson, we are going to learn what is expense. What are examples of specific expense accounts? What is expense? Expense is a benefit flowing out of the business. It is the opposite of income. Expenses are important in doing business. No business can operate without incurring expenses. No business earns income without expenses. So it goes without saying that income and expense are very much related. What are these benefits flowing out of the business? The benefits flowing out of the business may refer to the consumption or use of assets or loss. Assets are meant to be consumed or used. Once an asset is consumed or used, it is no longer an asset. A consumed or used asset is an expense. A loss is a decrease in income of the business, usually from incidental transactions, which is transactions not directly related to the main operations. Expense is recorded when it is incurred. When is an expense incurred? When it has already been used, consumed, expired, or availed. A business who receives a bill for electricity for the month means an expense has already been incurred, that's why it's billed. An employee of the business has already rendered the work for the month, so the business has to record expense in that month. An expense can result in the business paying cash immediately or paying cash later, or what we call accounts payable, or any payable account for that matter. Expense decreases owner's equity. It decreases the owner's interest in the business because it reduces what he or she already owns. Expense is summarized in owner's equity. What are examples of specific expense accounts? One example is cost of sales. Cost of sales is the cost of selling a product to a customer. This account is used by a merchandising or a manufacturing business. The equivalent account for a service business is the cost of service account. Salaries expense, the cost of services of employees already rendered. Utilities expense, the cost of electricity, telephone, water, and internet used in the business. Supplies expense, the cost of supplies used or consumed. Repairs and maintenance expense, the cost of repairing and maintaining the properties or the assets of the business. Rent expense, the cost of renting a property for business use. Advertising expense, the cost of marketing the products or services sold by the business. Fuel expense, the cost of fuel and gasoline used in the business. Traveling expense, the cost of transportation and accommodation during meetings, seminars, and trainings related to the business. Interest expense, the cost of borrowing money from lenders for business use. Taxes and licenses, the cost of business registration, local business taxes, and other registration fees to operate the business. Representation expense, the cost of meals, entertainment, meetings, and others related to the business. Depreciation expense, the reduction in the value of some properties and equipment due to usage, wear and tear, or passage of time. Miscellaneous expenses. This account is used for various expenses, normally too small in amount and incurred irregularly, thus do not require a separate account.